You're listening to XS Gaming Podcast, a podcast for gamers by gamers, with your hosts Xander Scullion and James Gruesome, bringing you something old, something new, and a little bit of nostalgia too.
Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, and welcome back to another episode of XS Gaming Podcast. This is episode 115. We're recording this a day before Valentine's Day. This is the 13th of February. I'm your host, Xander Scullion, and joining with me is my wonderful co-host, Mr. James Gruesome. What's up, James?
Greetings and salutations, everyone. I was going to do some big spiel about, for all of you out there, who work hard and go to work every day and feel unappreciated and catch the burden from all the other slack asses and stuff like that. But, and that someone appreciates you and, it's just good. But instead, I decided I would mention there's a new Girl Scout cookie called Trio, or the Trios, and it's gluten-free, which, don't let that throw you off, because sometimes it's like, I don't really care about gluten. But these things are a peanut butter oatmeal cookie with chocolate chips, so they end up tasting like no-bake cookies. For anybody that's had those, they're a very awesome chocolatey, peanut buttery, oatmeal thing that you don't bake. You put it in the fridge. And that's what these cookies taste like. So I'd like to give a big shout out to the Girl Scouts. Check out a bag of Trios and support them. It goes to a good cause. It's not as great as the apple cinnamon, which is still my favorite ever, and I really wish they would bring it back. But for now, the no-bake tasting cookie will do, along with all the other classics, of course, that everybody loves.
Yeah, I was about to say, speaking of food, I tried out a new cereal yesterday, the blueberry pancake Captain Crunch, and it was actually really good. Really good. Not bad.
Sounds like that would be, not too bad. It's still pretty much the same, texture of regular Captain Crunch, but just like a blueberry pancakey.
Yeah, it's got like that blueberry taste with the freaking maple syrup smell, pretty much.
Yeah.
But
They've come a long way since my horror story of the Choco Crunch, when it first appeared in the early 80s. That was, my heart was broken. It looks so good, and you think this is going to be so great, and it was so bad,
Oh, man. Well, not a whole lot's been going on in the gaming news that we're about to get into. Before that, though, I do have to say, because tomorrow is Valentine's Day, I still want to wish my friend Devin, my good friend, drummer, actually tomorrow is his birthday. His birthday's on Valentine's Day. So, happy birthday, Devin. I think he's...
Lil D, happy birthday.
I think he's like 25 now, so he's almost up the ladder of the 30s, which I'm really happy
growed up.
But, yeah, gaming news. I want to start first with some Nintendo Switch news. First off, big congratulations to Nintendo with the Nintendo Switch, because in 10 months, the Nintendo Switch has officially outsold the Wii U's lifespan in sales. Believe it or not, the Wii U only sold 15 million units, where the Switch has done that in a matter of 10 months. Isn't that insane?
Yeah, that just really shows you that they have something again. We talked a little bit about it before. It was, starting to break, a couple records. It's creeping up on some other consoles. And it's amazing. I think it's something a lot of us, all just wanted to see, knew they could do. They finally pulled it off. There was a lot of limitations with the Wii U. It's, it's not a horrible system, but I mean, if you didn't have one, it's like you missed out on some good games, but a lot of those good games are coming out now on the Switch. So if you've doubted Nintendo before, but you did enjoy them in the past, now's the time definitely to go ahead and jump back on the bandwagon. It's okay if you hated them or not. We will accept you all back on, because it's just a fun system. It's really the one most of my friends, all that have one, that's like our main system. We play. You got the portability. You don't have to have the TV on. It's just, great games. It's everything we kind of really wanted the Wii U to be a bit more like, that just kind of failed. And, And they took some inspiration from maybe having a failure like that, because Nintendo doesn't like to have bombs. And I mean, the Wii U is pretty much a bomb after such success with the Wii. So to see them come back, like the phoenix rising up, is really awesome, and it's a good time. We got 3 great consoles out on the market, so just more competition, and hopefully we just get more better games.
Indeed, indeed. And also, Nintendo did announce a release date for their online service. Now, the way the online service has been going out is they haven't really announced what is going to be offering, other than the fact that it's going to be around $20 to $24 a year. And it's going to be releasing on September. I can't remember exactly what date, but it is going to be in September. And well, what are your thoughts about this, James? Like, what is it that Nintendo could do to make you want to spend that $20 a year? Because right now it's free, so I feel like Nintendo really has to do a little bit of extra something to make us be like, okay, I'll pay for that.
Yeah, it is free. Its price on the win end to me is pretty reasonable. I heard a lot of rumors before about the kind of a game. I don't really know if I want to use the word rental, but along with the subscription, you get a game every month, and you either keep it or buy it. For me, and this is something I kind of thought they were going to do. It really is for like older games, like online multiplayer for classic games. That's something. Like I said, it seems like they were kind of hinting at that prior. I know people have been able to do that on emulators and such, but to go on and play, Contra, 2 players online with a friend, hell, even like Mario Brothers, Super Mario Brothers, trading back and forth just like that. But the co-op especially, if they could throw that into a lot of the classic games, that would be a easy buy for me, along with the short cost anyway. Extra games. I think they're going to have something good. It seems kind of far off. So when I first heard that date, I actually heard that today, and I was like, wow, I'm like September. I'm like, that's kind of a ways off.
Yeah.
But I'm thinking at least with that, they will be able to have, planning. I'm sure we'll hear more updates with the directs. Who knows what kind of like virtual console stuff is going to come up along with that and get thrown into the mix. So I'm pretty excited just to see. Like, to me, I'm pretty confident that whatever they put out, will be worth the cost. And you never know what extras you might get along with that. They always like to try to give you, a good value, I think. So, it's a ways off. I just look forward to the updates, and it's, I'm hoping it's awesome.
Yeah. I think we'll get more information with E3, because E3 is only a couple of months away. I mean, it's hard to believe that, like, let's see, E3 is usually around like June, July-ish, and yeah, it's right around the corner, and I know we'll be getting some more updates on that. And I mean, for me, like, the one thing that they could do to make me be like, oh man, I'd have to get this. For one, I agree the price is really, really good compared to Xbox One and PlayStation 4's online of like $60. You're spending a quarter of that with 20. And one thing that I would really like about it is the virtual console with online co-op. Now, me personally, I could care less about the virtual console itself because, I could play anything I want. But with that extra little bit of online co-op would just be enough to make me be like, ooh. Especially, if it was like online co-op on not just like old retro stuff, but maybe like some of the GameCube stuff too. Like, imagine if they actually had online co-op with Mario Kart Double Dash or, Smash Brothers. How big Smash Brothers Melee would be to have an online. I mean, I think that right there would merit people to spend like $20. They do it like right then and there. So who knows? It's really, really interesting. I mean, for the fact that they've had this console out, it'll be a little bit over a year, and they're going to start charging people for online. They got to do something to make people not lose their shit over it.
Yeah, definitely. We seem to agree on that with that game. You look at it's like $2 a month. maybe you get a game, as they mentioned before in the past, you get a game and it's like maybe that could just be worth, the $2. But, we got a lot of time, I mean, it's going to come fast, but I'm sure we'll see. And by the end, probably be a pretty good deal.
Now, speaking of good deals, great segue, by the way, James. I know you don't know what I'm about to talk about, but that was a really good segue because I'm going to talk about a deal that Newegg is having right now with the Xbox One X. Xbox One X deals with a fairly common, has been very common in the months following the launch. And now the retailer Newegg is offering another bundle to consider the market's new system. For a limited time, you get a copy of Dynasty Warriors 9 when you purchase the Xbox One X. Okay, Newegg is selling the brand new 1 terabyte Xbox One X with its typical retail price of $500, but it includes a copy of the game, and it will be available through Wednesday, February 14th. So whoever's listening to this, I'm hoping you guys took advantage of this sale because it looks like this is going to be a very limited thing. But if you don't really care too much about the Xbox One X's extra horsepower, they also offer a Xbox One S bundle later this month that includes Players Unknown Battlegrounds, PUBG. It also includes a 1-month trial of Xbox Live Gold and Xbox Game Pass. Man, that's actually a really good deal. That's not bad at all. You get the Xbox One S, PUBG, a month of Xbox Live, and a month of Xbox Game Pass. And PUBG is like the big game right now. So
how much is that bundle?
It looks like it's going to be about, let's see, looking at it right now. And I think it's the same, it's the same price. So it's going to be like $460. It's not bad.
I don't know, that's the one thing now. I mean, I think too, though, but it's like you kind of see those popping up
Black
a
Friday.
bit more for like a bit cheaper. Yeah,
Black Friday
with those systems. A lot of them kind of going over $3. They're kind of pushing it a little bit. But the other one I know with not the X, the S. Wait, it is the X? It's very confusing.
Yeah, that's why I was like stumbling over my words because the Xbox One X is on sale. And when you get that, you get a copy of Dynasty Warriors 9. And then they had the Xbox One S model that comes with a month of Xbox Live, a month of the Game Pass, and PUBG. Man, that's really, I think that's a really good deal. But
Game Pass too, especially. We talked about that one a little bit before. It just sounds like that's kind of going to be. It's going to be curious to see how it ends up going. Completely how it works out. But it's sounding pretty cool now.
Now, also with some PlayStation news, it was just announced today actually that Spyro the Dragon is getting an HD remaster of the trilogy. Very similar to what we saw with Crash Bandicoot. There's not too much more news on it because it was just announced today, but September is going to mark the 20th anniversary of the original Spyro the Dragon on the PlayStation 1, and it looks like that's what they're going to be trying to shoot for is when the anniversary comes out of getting the remaster of Spyro the Dragon. And I really did enjoy Spyro the Dragon. I think I would get that collection, definitely.
It's one I'm kind of curious to go back to. Like, I remember playing it a little bit when it came out. I think, I played the first one. Might have played a little bit of some of the sequels, but I do love, like, the remasters and stuff they've been doing and putting those collections out. Like, I never really played Crash Bandicoot. Played it, like, a little bit. I hadn't got that new collection yet, but it's one I definitely have thought about. So I just I enjoy seeing the old franchises like that. It's a lot of ones you think of when you think of like the old PlayStation and see them come back out. Yeah, cute little Spyro. Kind of came off the coming off your old like Donkey Kong Countries and stuff. Around that time made you think of that. We had a lot of like really cool little character games like that.
Yeah, what's really interesting is I played Spyro the Dragon sometime last year. It's the first time I played it in a long time, and I'd say the game's aged really well. I hope that they changed a little bit of the controls because I think the controls were kind of dated with the because I don't think they used too much of the 2 analog sticks, so that was kind of weird. I think you used the shoulder buttons to turn around.
I'm sure probably around that time with the early one, it probably came out prior to the DualShock.
Yeah, so I hope they fix that, but man, I'll definitely get Spyro. Also, for all the PS Plus owners, we actually have the February's PlayStation Plus game lineup. It says PS4 owners have 2 games to download this month. Knack and also the eco-inspired adventure game Rime. Also a PSVR shooter called Starblood Arena. And let's see, for PS3 owners, I have to say, I'm glad that PSN is still supportive of PlayStation 3. I just want to add that in real quick. When I see like PlayStation 3 is getting stuff, I'm like, oh, okay, cool. They're getting Spelunker HD, and also a turn-based RPG called Mugen Souls Z. And with the Vita, you're getting Exiles In and the tactical RPG called Grand Kingdom. So, yeah, that's kind of cool.
I like its variety, how they still do that, because like I have all of those systems, and like I still have the PS Plus. I've really kind of been meaning to like stop it, just because I haven't been using my PlayStation as much. I usually use the Switch, and it's just like a little bit of a extra cost that I could cut out. But it is still always worth it usually to jump on there and at least like download the games and go ahead and snag them up. But they have such a good variety. If you got the PS3, you're covered. You got something. You got PS4 and Vita. Kind of makes it a little bit more worth the money in the end too if you have all of the systems, because you get something on, you get multiple games on each system like every month, which is just cool. Like I wonder how much longer this has probably got to be the last year of a PS3.
Yeah,
things coming out.
Yeah, it's gotta be, because I mean, I'm just happy that they're still supporting it now. But I thought it would be over like 2 years ago, to be honest. I mean, I guess
they think maybe more people, do keep the older systems just due to the fact that we don't have backwards compatibility anymore.
Yeah, because I mean, like I seriously thought that. By this time this year, I thought PSN on the PS3 would be dead. If I'm not mistaken, I think the Xbox 360, like the Xbox Live, is still working on that too, which is really surprising. I haven't booted up my 360 in a while though. It's been a long time. But, that's crazy. But I mean, that's pretty much it with gaming news. Nothing too crazy has really went on. But yeah. but I think what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and take our little break. And when we come back, we're going to be talking about games that we want to play in 2018. And we're not just going to be talking about games that are coming out in 2018, but maybe some games that we missed out on 2017. Because, man, 2017, after the break, I have to get into this because 2017, I have to say, it's kind of spoiled me a little bit. And I'm going to get into more of that after the break. So sit back, relax, guys, and we'll be right back. We are back, guys, and this was actually a request from a listener. They messaged me on Facebook. It was my good friend Eddie. He was like, hey, this Mega Man song will be really, really cool. It's actually called Mega Man Doppler Stage 1, and it's by, I hope I'm saying this right, by the way. It's Masahiro Oki. I believe that's what it is. And I'll have a link on the description below to this episode if you guys want to check out that song. You can actually purchase it on Google. You can purchase the whole album, and from what I've heard, it's really cool. So, yeah, 2018. Before we took the break, I said I would have to get into this. I kind of have a problem, and I think it's a lot of problems that gamers are having this year. 2017 was such a great year with gaming that there's so many games that I missed out on in 2017 that 2018 is looking awesome, but it's almost like not really like I'm having gaming burnout, but it's almost like information overload, if that makes any sense.
Definitely. It's just so much, you know? I mean, it's a good thing. You really want to try to keep up sometimes when you see the games coming out and you feel like, oh man, it's like it's just kind of fun to play things at the same time as everybody else and experience it, but sometimes it's just not possible. But I mean, you can still have a great time if you put it off. If you wait a little bit, sometimes more than often you will get, of course, a better price. And then you still get to experience the game, whether you hear some, major spoilers or something. It's kind of the same way as movies. A lot of people, like, even if you hear that, it's like you can still enjoy it, especially with a game when you have that gameplay experience that kind of, helps out too. You're not just sitting there watching it. But yeah, just too much good damn stuff out there.
Yeah, I mean, just this month alone, I mean, we've had games like that I haven't even played yet, like Dragon Ball Fighter Z. I want to play that. I want to play Monster Hunter World. We have the Shadow of the Colossus remake that just came out that, I'm a big Shadow of the Colossus fan. I have it on the PS2 and the PS3. And I'm like, I'm going to have to get it for the PS4 too because that remake looks really good. But, I mean, we have so many other games as well that's coming out. But before we get in that, let me ask you, James, what's a game of 2017 that you have not had a chance to play yet that's been on your list of games you want to play?
I've really kind of been curious about the Horizon Zero Dawn.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know a whole lot about it. I kind of heard it a little bit, seemed to be compared to Breath of the Wild in a sense.
Yeah.
At the same time, too, I have a trouble, undertaking a game such as those. So much going on, but I heard so many of our friends talking about it, and I heard nothing but good things. That it's a game that I still want to try, even if it's one I probably will not make it, all the way through. I just want to see what it's about. I mean, it was a pretty big title. Heard about it, like I said, nothing but good stuff. So, yeah, one day I might just, find that one for cheaper. I'm sure it'll have some kind of, special edition with all the extra crap, and then I might just get like the old version to save some money just to try it out.
Yeah, because there's a lot of DLC that came out for Horizon, and there's still DLC coming out. So I could see, Holidays, a definitive version coming out, and I think that's probably when I'll play, because that's another game I haven't played either. I also want to play Nier Automata. Like, that's another game I've been really wanting to play. And Persona 5. I still haven't played that, but I have to be honest, I'm kind of leery about playing Persona 5, not because I think it's a bad game, but just because those games are very time consuming, and I'm just kind of like, I don't know if I want to make that commitment yet,
Yeah, I still wanted to try too the Yooka-Laylee.
Yeah, that game's cheap now.
You heard about it so much, spiritual successor, to the N64, and it's one that just seemed like that would be fun, and it could come out later. I think it's set to come out on the Switch, too. So
yeah.
I might get it then and check it out. I mean, I'd have to throw a couple games, too, on the list that I started and I didn't finish, like Resident Evil 7. Just an awesome game, awesome experience. And I didn't finish it, and it's been like a while since I played it, so I really want to go back to that. I mean, and even for me, Yakuza Kiwami, like I'd finished Zero, I started Kiwami, and I didn't, I got a little ways into it. I played the original, so I didn't feel the exact need to rush into it. And now with, as far as games we're looking forward to, 6 coming up, I'm kind of in that debate. Like, do I want to go ahead and finish Kiwami, or do I want to go ahead and just wait? Because I don't want to be on that game when 6 comes out, because I want to play 6 right when that comes out.
Yeah, see, I'm the same way, and I'm in kind of a predicament with Yakuza 6. First off, the game got pushed back. It got pushed back to, it was originally going to come out in March, but it's coming out in April, which that doesn't bother me. I got a collector's edition pre-ordered. I got it paid off, so I'm just waiting now. But my thing is I was like in the middle of playing Yakuza 4, and I haven't finished it, and I still haven't even touched Yakuza 5. So it's one of those things like, I don't know if I want to play 4 and 5 and then play 6, or just like look up like a Cliff Notes of 4 and 5 and then play 6. Because, I mean, the first Yakuza I played was 0. And then I went from 0 to Yakuza 3. And then I went from Yakuza 3 to Yakuza Kiwami. So, I mean, like, I'm all over the place anyway. And what's cool about the Yakuza series is you can watch those, like, videos that kind of, like, catch you up. But it doesn't, like, yeah, it spoils the game. But it doesn't, like, spoil it per se, because even though you know what's going to happen, I still get, my jaw still drops when certain things happen. And this just the experience of the game. And it's one of those things, like, I love the game so much that even if I found out spoilers, I would still play it regardless. So, I mean, I think that's what I'm going to do. I think I just answered my own question. I think I'm just going to watch a 4 and 5, synopsis, like, Cliff Note video and just go into 6.
That's what I would suggest, and I know 6 is going to be, I think it's still set up a little different, than how 0 and Kiwami were. I think it's got its own different engine to it. You got 4, you can always still play that. 5 is such a pain now because it is download only. You got to get it on PS3, and it's just, it's kind of a hassle instead of if you could just go out and buy it, for $10 or $20. I'm not even sure how much it cost now to download.
It's still a $30 game. Like, I really wish, I mean, even if they didn't do anything but just do a straight port, as much as I would love a physical copy of Yakuza 5 just to complete the collection, if they just release it digital on PS4, like, that would be cool with me too. Like, I don't really want to pay like $30 for a PS3 game. Like, if they release it on PS4 and charge you $30, I'll do that in a heartbeat. I just, it's trivial too, because like I have my PS3 and PS4 right beside each other. It's not like I got the PS3 in storage or something. I could play a PlayStation 3 game if I wanted to, but it's just the fact I would just like to have it on the PS4.
Yeah, it is really good though.
Yeah.
But I'd say too, going at it, you can always go back, because it does have that really fun stuff with like Haruka, and you got to do like the singing rhythm mini games. Just adds like a whole new thing to it. But I'd say it wouldn't hurt just to go ahead and jump into 6. I mean, I've heard now you can drag people into stores and like bash up stuff inside of the store, and it's just little things like that. I'm like, oh man, I can't wait to see what's going to pop up in that. So yeah, I agree with you, as you just decided for yourself to just jump into 6, man. It's going to be awesome.
Yeah, and it is using a different engine than 0 and Kiwami, because I think 0 and Kiwami was using the Yakuza 5 engine, if I'm not mistaken, and I think this is a whole new engine.
No, I would think that let's see, I don't really know at the end of how different they would play. I want to say that 5 to me was still a lot more like just a progression of the other ones in the series. I do think for the PS4, 0 and Kiwami kind of had their own. So I'm thinking 6, while it's a new engine, will probably be maybe a little bit more similar to how 5 was. But hell, who the hell knows? It's going to be great. Like
oh,
I said,
yeah.
just when the added things, before you couldn't go into, you were stuck in the kind of like one area. But if you can actually go into stores from outside as you're fighting, load times are still cut down, which I never really had a problem with any of those. But, it's going to be great. And it's already been out almost like 2 years in Japan.
Yeah. Yeah, so, there's a Yakuza podcast I listen to, the Yakuza Fan Podcast, and I haven't caught up with them in a while just because I know they were playing 6 before it was released, and I'm like, I don't want to listen too much of what's going on because this is like the final game, supposedly. I never believed that a game series is over.
It's the end of the Kiryu's storyline.
Yeah.
So the Yakuza series will continue, but, as far as being the main character, this is supposed to be it for him.
Yeah, so I'm looking forward to it. So that is one game, and I would say that's like the one game that's coming out 2018 that I'm buying. Like that's one I've already got paid off, but that's going to be my first like actual 2018 purchase. Another game that I'm looking forward to as well, though, is God of War. I really did enjoy the God of War series, but I'll be the first to say that it was getting kind of stale after 3. When they had the other one that came out, it was kind of, with the I can't even remember the name of it. It was, I think it came out on PS3, but it was just forgettable. That's
Was it you talking about the PSP collection, the Chains of Olympus, and?
Well, no, there was one that came out after the PSP ones, after 3, and it was like a pseudo God of War 4, but it wasn't called God of War 4. It was called something else. But I know people that are listening are probably going to be like commenting, be like, this is what the game's called, you idiot. Dislike. But it got stale. It really did. But this God of War, a lot of people have been on the fence about the fact that this is more of a human Kratos. He's with his son, and there's so much, to me, there's so much character development. A lot of people have even tried to call it the Last of Us God of War edition, but I think this is really cool. I think it's going to be awesome to see Kratos have another emotion other than just being angry. To see him care about his son and to see what his son's going through. And I'll go ahead and predict, I feel like this is going to be the game that Kratos will die and his son will pick up on a new God of War series. I think that's what's going to happen.
I'm kind of interested too with that, just for its different look, because then it kind of set in a different time, like kind of this one based more on like Norse mythology or something as opposed to the Greek.
It's got a totally different feel to it for certain. But
kind of a new setting, I think, at the end, will help. Like I didn't end up playing 3, which actually, that's a game, another one I wouldn't mind going back and just playing. It's one I always enjoyed. I don't think I was with a friend, I think, when they beat 1. And I haven't beat a damn one of them. But they're always, really good and solid. But see that kind of change, it's a new system, just to see what they can do. That is another one. And that comes out around the same time, too, because Yakuza's on the, I think the last I saw was the 19th of April, maybe. I think I saw something about being pushed to April. Maybe it was still March. But God of War comes out on the 20th of April.
Yeah.
Along with another thing, too, that I'm looking forward to, the Nintendo Labo.
Yeah. I'm curious to see what you think about that, because I'm going to wait on it myself, because I'm just kind of like, I think it's cool. I'm going to watch tons of videos of people unboxing a box and building it,
playing with cardboard.
Yeah,
I'm totally gonna get the once I saw for sure that you either got like the big like robot pack or you get like the multi pack that's got like 5 or 6 things. When I saw that 5 or 6 things were in the one pack, like the piano that I really wanted to try, I decided I'm gonna go ahead and pre-order that for sure. So you can hear from me too. I can let you know what I think. The big robot pack, like I said, I don't know, man. I'm almost 40. Like I might just stick with the fishing rod and the RC cars. I might be pushing it. I don't blame anybody that wants to do that, and I'm not saying that I won't for sure. But it'll be a little bit, maybe, one day.
Well, a game that's coming out next month that I am looking forward to is Kirby Star Allies for the Nintendo Switch. It's been a while since we've had like an actual Kirby game on console. The last Kirby game I played was on the 3DS, Kirby's Robobot. That was a really good Kirby game. And, we got Kirby's Rainbow Canvas on the Wii U, and that was not a good game. That was probably one of my biggest letdowns. But the Star Allies looks really, really fun. Looks almost like it's back to the basics of, a nice, solid Kirby platformer, which... Dude, Kirby's always just been a very relaxing series. The games aren't really that hard. They're really colorful. The soundtrack's really good. And I believe this is also going to have co-op as well. I don't know if it's online or couch co-op, but either way, it'd be kind of fun to play with someone.
Yeah, I was always, it always kind of sucked I missed out on Kirby for so long. Like, I can just remember a few years ago, I think on the 3DS, might have been the first time when I downloaded off the eShop and played the NES Kirby.
Oh, yeah.
And that was just like, wow. I'm like, how did I miss these? Like, I'm not really sure what happened. Like, I'd always kind of, heard about them and knew about them, but when I finally sat down and played, it was a game I really wish I could have played back then. But to see a Kirby game on the Switch, that's definitely cool. It's like the first one on there, so pretty sure that'll end up being a good one. Interesting one I saw was coming out that was done through a Kickstarter, but do you remember Fear Effect on the PlayStation?
Oh, yeah.
There's a Fear Effect 3 coming out. I don't know a whole lot about it. That was just one of those kind of classic PlayStation games to me that it's just kind of cool to see after so many years, it get another one that got kind of like funded, and I think it's being like put out by Square and everything.
That'd be a really, really cool game. Now, how about this? One of your favorite games is coming out this year, finally, after all these years, and that's Shenmue 3.
Shenmue 3.
I'm looking forward to it. I know you're not a big Shenmue fan, but I'm curious. I'm curious to see how the whole story plays out. And who knows? This may be your Shenmue.
It could be. I mean, I would definitely check it out. I mean, I didn't that's one of those games that kind of gets lost every once in a while. You hear about it, like goes away. I didn't actually know it was coming out for sure, but now that will. I'm curious to see, man. That's that one's gonna be
yeah.
Lost it, Shenmue. Yeah.
Well, I mean, speaking of Lost, I mean, we still have Bloodstained Ritual of the Night that's supposed to come out this year, too. That's one that, honestly, I'm glad I didn't back it on Kickstarter. Nothing against, Igarashi, because I love Castlevania Symphony of the Night, and I love the Igarashi Vanias. But, I'm glad I didn't back the Kickstarter because it has had a lot of setbacks. Not as bad as Mighty Number 9, but there's a very Mighty Number 9-esque kind of looming feeling over it. So I'm glad I didn't, back it. I'd probably be a lot more negative than I am about it now. Because, I mean, I'm just one of those things it's one of those things like when Bloodstain comes out, I'm going to be like, okay, I'm going to go buy it. But until then, I'm not even worried about it. But I am looking forward to it. I'm curious.
No. That would be a day one buy. I kind of wonder how the people that did back it feel. Like you said, you were in the Mighty Number 9 position. I've read comments every once in a while when I'll see a post, like, they'll do an update. And a lot of the comments, are positive, and they're like, hey, we're just waiting. This will be good. Other people, not so much, because it really has been a long time. I don't know if it's going on like a couple years now. And like, I'm sure it's going to be great. It's like I can't wait to play it when I hear about it. But then it'll kind of go away, like you said, and then you just kind of forget about it. So, but I didn't invest the money into it, so.
Yeah, I think it was supposed to come out 2016. I think that's when it was supposed to come out because I think the Kickstarter, if memory serves me right, I think the Kickstarter was like 2015 and it was supposed to come out the next year or so. And here we are in 2018 and it's just now starting to kind of go through the whole process. So, I mean, I don't know. I'm looking forward to it. Another game as well, Rockstar's Red Dead Redemption 2. I'll have to say I'm not a big Grand Theft Auto fan. Like, Grand Theft Auto are fun games, but they're games that I play for, a week and I lose interest in, where Red Dead Redemption takes a genre that I'm not big into, which is like the Western. I'm not big into the Westerners, but it made me a fan of it. Like, I remember an old boss of mine was the one that got me Red Dead Redemption on the 360 because he was playing it and he was like, I want some people to play online with me. And I'm like, oh, okay, I'll try it out. And I tried it and the story was just so fucking good, man. I was like, okay, this has me sold. This is so much better than Grand Theft Auto. So I'm looking forward to Red Dead Redemption 2. I know we haven't seen too much about it, but it is supposed to come out this year. I think that's going to be something we see a lot for E3, as well as like games like Last of Us 2.
Yeah, it got pushed back a bit as well. Like, its date now is like October 26th.
Yeah.
But that's one of those games when I hear it get pushed back, it's like I don't really mind because it's just going to more and more, quality of the game. Like, that's pretty much going to be the 2018 Game of the Year. Like,
Yeah.
I don't have any doubt about that. It's one of those series before. I loved Red Dead Revolver. It was just such a, at the time, was a bit more of an odd game. Like, we got a little Western now and then. A couple on like the PlayStation, as far as with the Gun Con. It was an odd genre. Red Dead Revolver came out, was just really fun, not quite as open world. Gun, I think, kind of jumped off the success of Red Dead Revolver, and that was the first more open world one, which wasn't Rockstar. Very cool though. But then Red Dead Redemption came out and just kind of blew everything else away. It's a game that lasted really long too. They had the extra content, which I still never played. The Undead Nightmare.
Yeah.
Yeah, I still mean to go back and try that. Like, I still never completed Red Dead Redemption. It's a game I played for a bit. I stopped. I went back and then I played some more and I got even further, and I'm going to jump back on it again, and it's a game I'm definitely going to try to complete before the new one comes out. But if not, I know the new one I think the new one's a prequel.
Yeah, that's what I think too, yeah.
I remember hearing right, so it won't be so bad. I mean, but to just, once again, PlayStation is a great system, and to see, what they can do, how it's going to look, everything, as great as GTA 5 was, me like you, I'm not the hugest GTA fan, and I didn't play a whole lot of 5, but just what you could do on there was really amazing. So to kind of see that aspect also thrown into Red Dead, and just to see what kind of crazy Western world they're going to be able to make, like, that game is just definitely going to be amazing.
Oh,
Got
yeah.
a ways to go, though.
Yeah.
But it'll be worth it. It's going to be one of those games, man.
And there's so many games to fill in the gap until Red Dead comes out. Because, I mean, I'm looking at the list right now, and, I mean, we could make a whole, 4-hour podcast talking about all these games. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to keep it kind of simple and talk about I'm going to talk about 2 more games I'm really looking forward to. Like, these are ones that are going to be, day one buys for me. Of course, Mega Man 11, just because it's freaking Mega Man, and I'm not going to deny the fact that I'm a big Mega Man fan, and to see the Mega Man 11 coming out, I'm a big fan of it. I'm kind of speechless just talking about it. Mega Man 11, Travis Strikes Again, No More Heroes. I was a big fan of No More Heroes for the Wii, and the first and second one. So to see this coming out for the Switch, I'm really looking forward to it. And the last game that I want to mention that I'm looking forward to is Spider-Man. I'm not huge into like superhero games, but this is one that I'm like, okay, yeah, this is one I really want to play. It's got like that whole Arkham Knights feel with Spider-Man, so I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah, I would say I'm glad you mentioned the No More Heroes. That's one of the ones too. That's just always a really fun game. Wolf Among Us 2, one of the Telltale games. Really loved the first one. I think it was my favorite out of all the Telltale games I've played. I just got the Batman. I haven't tried that yet. But Wolf Among Us 2, I think they weren't even planning on doing a sequel at first. And then I guess they decided to. So that's one I'm definitely looking forward to. Another one we heard about last year, I remember seeing some video, sounded really cool, was the Call of Cthulhu game.
Oh yeah.
Just looked good. I'd always heard about the one was the Cthulhu game on the Xbox.
Yeah.
Can't remember the name of it. I heard nothing but really good things, and
think,
they're not related.
Yeah, I think it was just called. I think it was called Call of Cthulhu on the OG Xbox.
Yeah, but it kind of had the the gimmick where you start to go crazy, and it's kind of expensive. It stayed around like $40-50, which is why I never ended up getting a copy. And like I said, this one, it looks kind of like that, but I don't think they're related. Haven't heard a whole lot about it. Everything I looked up on it just said it was still didn't have a definitive date, and it's just coming sometime this year. There is another Earth Defense Force, which we seem to get those like every year now, which, giant bugs and everything like that is super fun.
Oh, yeah.
And one I haven't heard anything else about. I still think it's happening. I don't know if it's this year, but it is still the Resident Evil 2 remake. It's been in rumor for a while. We got the remake of 1. Everybody's been waiting on 2 for like years and years, and I tend to think it's still going to happen. Could be this year. I don't know.
Yeah, that was a question I got on my Q&A on my YouTube channel, where someone was like, "What do you think about the Resident Evil 2 remake?" And I'm just kind of like, you know what? I'm not following anything about it, because I'm gonna wait until we get like an actual like official trailer. Because we haven't even had a trailer really. It was just kind of like an announcement, 2 or 3 years ago at E3, and we haven't heard anything else. So I'm going to wait until like the trailer comes out. I want to know what kind of gameplay. Is it going to be, more like old school Resident Evil, or are they going to do like the first person view like Resident Evil 7, or is it going to be a hybrid of both? Either way though, I mean, hey, why not? I'm looking forward to it, but at the same time, a lot of those games that people have mentioned, like Resident Evil 2 or Final Fantasy 7. I mean, there's so many games that came out last year that I haven't even played, and there's so many games coming out this year that some of those anticipated titles I'm perfectly fine with waiting on. I'd rather, it wouldn't bother me at all if I just, went to GameStop one day and I saw Final Fantasy 7 on the shelves. I'm like, oh shit, didn't that come out? I'll go ahead and buy it.
Yeah.
I don't know. I've learned last couple of years. I've learned a lot more patience when it comes to games, especially this last Black Friday. Man, like there were so many games that came out 2017 that I bought day one. That when they came out Black Friday and I saw them like a quarter of the price, I was like, man, I need to start kind of just work on finishing my games more before going off and buying 4 or 5 titles that came out one month because I had to have them.
Yeah, spread it out, save some money now and then, because at the end it's better if you can just kind of, spend the time and invest into like one game. I can't really multitask with that many games, but,
Indeed.
If someone can, more power to you. If you can play like, 5-6 games a month, man, that would be pretty cool.
Oh, yeah. Now, we're running out of time. So before we get into games that we've been playing, James, is there any like last games you want to mention for 2018?
Actually, there is one. It's a game called Conan Exiles. It's actually like another Conan game coming out. And you play someone that Conan actually rescues. Like you were hung up and left for dead, and he saves you. And it's just kind of survival action game. I guess you got to go hunt. It's one of those ones when you throw Conan in the title, like I'm going to be a little curious because we don't get those a whole lot. The last one I remember was the one on like the PS3 and 360, and that was a really cool one. And I have some friends that play one on PC. It's like a big online Conan game. So just kind of looking forward to that, man. Conan is awesome. I think we're still getting another Conan movie with like Arnold or something. So, it's going to be a big year for Conan, man.
Hell yeah, hell yeah. So, James, what have you been playing recently?
I have not really played much of anything. I just been working a lot, and I kind of come home. I have, though, been watching on the WWE Network. They have done a whole section of old Coliseum home videos for many people that used to rent those from the video store, all kinds of collections from the mid to early 80s all the way up into the 90s. So I've really been going through that. And I've been watching a lot of the New Japan shows they've had this month. They're having about 5 shows, which is kind of a lot. So on the weekend, I got the New Japan Network, and I'll go on there and try to catch up on those. But they're kind of long, they're like 3-hour shows, so still getting through it. So it's just been a lot of work and wrestling, and that's about it. Not enough gaming. I do have actually right now, right before the show, I got Owlboy, which was another 2018 game. It had come out before on the PC. I hear it kind of described as like a, kind of a Metroidvania with an owl-type creature that can pick up this other guy and carry him around, and it kind of looks like a Super NES game. And so I have that downloading on my Switch, and I'm looking forward to checking that one out and talking about that one next time.
Indeed, indeed. I'm really curious on how you feel about that, because that was a game that I've known about for a while, because, it was on Steam, and I hadn't had a chance to play it, so I'm a little leery about spending, like, more than $10 on an indie. So, I mean, it has to be something that really, really appeals to me, like, like Cuphead, that was worth $20. But, like, Owlboy,
Yeah.
I'm not sure. I'm not sure
And
yet.
it's 25.
Yeah.
So.
I mean, that's like... Yeah, that's almost the price. That's like half the price of a new game. So, I mean, that's, whew. But for me, I mean, I've been playing a lot lately. Play more than I usually do. Actually, most of them have been review copies. Like, I did a review for Longest 5 Minutes. It actually came out today, as we're recording this, on the Nintendo Switch and Steam and the PlayStation Vita. And it's a good RPG. I think this would be an RPG that you would enjoy, James, because it's not, and don't take this the wrong way, it's not a hard JRPG. It's pretty easy, but the story makes it what it is. I feel like the gameplay, if the story wasn't as good, I don't think the game would be as good. But the game's like a relaxing JRPG, kind of like Final Fantasy Mystic Quest.
Yeah. No, I like RPGs like that, ones that just aren't, don't got to put too much effort into them, but, they still can be kind of fun and relaxing. I do like the ones like that.
Yeah, I would recommend it. Also, Bleed 2. I was a big fan of the first Bleed. That was actually the first review copy I ever got from a company. I got from Digerati. And I've been working really, really close to them. They've been really good about sending me review copies, and they knew that I really enjoyed Bleed 1, so they reached out to me, and they're like, hey, Bleed 2 is about to come out. Here's a review code, and it's so good. It's so good. I think the price is probably like $10 or $15, and it's not a long game. It's only like 7 levels, so that could be a turnoff. But Bleed is one of those games that goes on sale quite often, so I could see Bleed 2 doing the same. So it was released on PS4, Xbox One, and Steam, and I got it on PS4. I'm pretty sure it'll come out and Switch probably in the next couple of months. But if you're a big fan of the first Bleed, definitely get Bleed 2. It's awesome. Really good stuff. And other than that, I mean, I've been playing a little bit of my Raspberry Pi, playing various arcade games and Neo Geo. I just recently got the 8-bit Do NES 30 Pro controller, and might be doing a video about that very soon, because I'm going to be doing a video about how I emulate, like how I'm able to play some of these games that, because I still get asked so many times where people are like, oh, do you miss that you sold your collection, that you just don't have retro games anymore? I'm like, dude, I still have retro games. I have more retro games now than I did when I had the shelves full of carts, and plan on doing a video on that. So yeah, if you want a nice Bluetooth controller that can work on the Nintendo Switch, it can work on your Raspberry Pi, it can work on your phone, it can also work on your PC or Mac computer, the 8BitDo NES 30 Pro. Definitely recommend it.
Yeah, I like that one. It has a really cool look. I was thinking of getting one of those a couple months ago.
Yeah,
I think I might pick it up, going ahead and invest in one. Like I said, with the ability to use it on so many different things. And I think they were somewhere between like $30 to $40.
Yeah. Yeah, I got
so
mine.
Not a bad price considering, a lot of controllers are, 50 or more nowadays.
Yeah, it was about, I got mine for $35 on eBay. You can get them for about like $40 on Amazon. And it's a good alternative in case you don't want to get a NES, or not NES, but a Nintendo Switch Pro controller. If you want a nice alternative, they do have the Hori wired controllers, but I know some people, they just don't want wired controllers at all. So if you don't want a wired controller, but you want something a little different, I would recommend the 8BitDo. Like, it's good stuff. But yeah, I think this is going to conclude another episode. Man, it's crazy to think that we're already in the second month of 2018, and there's just so many games that are freaking coming out. Jeez.
Too many.
Indeed. And anyway, guys, we want to thank you for checking out another episode of Excess Game Podcast. And if you enjoyed the podcast, you're listening to us on a Podomatic or on iTunes, don't forget to rate the show. It really helps the show and helps new listeners find our program. And also, if you're wanting to get more of what this channel is all about, be sure to check out our YouTube channel. You can check out my YouTube channel, youtube.com/XanderScullion, where I do reviews, recommend games, other reviews, just a bunch of video game stuff, definitely. And I have a new video that comes out every Sunday and every Wednesday. And be sure to also check out Podomatic and iTunes as well, because those episodes of Excess Gaming Podcast go on Podomatic and on iTunes before it goes on YouTube. So if you really enjoy the podcast, be sure to subscribe to us on Podomatic or on iTunes. But anyway, guys, as always, thanks for listening. Happy Valentine's. And as always, happy gaming.
Have a pleasant Valentine's Day, everyone.